Hey, this is Niels on Dynasty. Please like, share, and subscribe. Buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium. And be kind, helpful, and grateful because it's better than being a jerk. And watch out for BRICS because they're fixing to lose the S, South Africa. Here is this story. It's from New African Channel. It's 4 minutes old. Let's see what their perspective is on this story. And it is just their perspective.
Which were already hanging by a thread. A controversial bill to sanction South Africa has just cleared a major hurdle in the United States Congress. Known as the U.S. South Africa Bilateral Relations Review Act of 2025, this bill, if it becomes law, could send shockwaves through diplomatic circles and shake the very foundation of America's relationship with one of Africa's most important nations.
They're not important at all.
Could this be the beginning of a diplomatic divorce? And what does it say about how Washington now views Pretoria? The bill was first introduced into Congress on April 3, 2025, by Republican Representative Ronnie Jackson, a vocal Trump ally known for his hardline views. This was just the beginning. From there, the bill was passed on to the committees on foreign affairs and the judiciary. Fast forward to now, and Jackson has proudly announced that his bill has been approved by the Foreign Affairs Committee, marking its first legislative victory on the road to becoming law. This isn't just symbolic, it's a sign that some serious voices in Washington are ready to take South Africa to task. But why now? And what pushed the U.S. Congress to even consider such drastic action? According to those supporting the bill, South Africa has effectively abandoned its alliance with the U.S. in favor of what they label as authoritarian regimes. They point to South Africa's strengthening ties with China and Russia, its joint military drills with these countries, and its recent decision to downgrade diplomatic ties with Taiwan.
No mention of them joining BRICS 13 years ago. Interesting.
The ruling ANC's open dialogues with Hamas have also come under fire. And let's not forget South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, which many in the American establishment saw as a direct slap in the face to one of the U.S. closest allies. With all these developments, the bill's proponents argue it's time to hit back and hard. But is this about accountability as they claim, or is it retaliation dressed up as principle? Representative Jackson, though careful not to use direct threats, made it clear that this bill would give President Trump the tools needed to hold South Africa accountable. For him and his allies, the message is simple: no more turning a blind eye to what they see as betrayal. The bill aims to reassess the entirety of U.S. South Africa relations and even target certain ANC leaders and government officials for potential sanctions. But beneath the surface, could this be more about Trump's broader foreign policy agenda, one that seeks to reshape global alliances along new ideological lines? Despite its momentum, not everyone in Washington is clapping. Critics of the bill argue it's too heavy-handed and risks pushing South Africa even further away from the West. They suggest diplomacy, not punishment, should be the tool of engagement. After all, isn't South Africa still part of the African Growth and Opportunity Act framework?
No, shouldn't
Aren't there
be.
already mechanisms in place to express disapproval without turning to outright sanctions? Even those who agree that South Africa's recent moves are problematic worry that this bill could backfire spectacularly. Opponents stress that the bill could derail delicate trade negotiations and undo decades of diplomatic progress. They also note the risk of driving South Africa straight into the open arms of Beijing and Moscow.
That happened 13 years ago, and Beijing and Moscow has already turned a blind eye to South Africa. That's why Russia's building 2 nuclear power plants in Egypt and one in Burkina Faso, but they're not helping South Africa, their friend in BRICS, get their nuclear power program back online, and they're out of power for 50% of the day, year round. So BRICS already left those guys. Their best hope is digital platinum.
Further entrenching a global split that many hoped could be avoided. Ironically, even those who voted against the bill admit that Pretoria's foreign policy has become increasingly provocative, especially under the current ANC leadership. But does that justify this legislative firebomb? Or is this just the latest episode in an increasingly aggressive American foreign policy under Trump's second term?
Hey everyone, big heads up. Paleo Valley's running a sale on all their meat sticks right now. You can get 30 sticks for 36.
Or is America pulling back all the money they're misusing and getting their fifth wife and seventh house for, and it's not going to aid their people? Possibly.
Since Donald Trump's return to the White House in early 2025, U.S.-South Africa relations have sharply deteriorated due to a series of controversial moves by Washington, including denying visas to South African envoys, cutting key development aid like PEPFAR.
See, that's a lie. That was a retaliatory move for them doing sanctions against Israel. That's the lie this gentleman just told.
Imposing heavy tariffs and suspending military support. Tensions have worsened further over Trump's executive order offering asylum to white South Africans. The expulsion of South Africa's ambassador.
No, he did not offer it to white South Africans. He offered it to Afrikaners. Afrikaners are a race of people down there that are being persecuted. Their color is irrelevant. They bring in color to make you feel that persecuting them is okay. See, another bullshit lie this gentleman's telling.
And mounting U.S. outrage over South Africa's ties with China and Russia, its neutrality on the Ukraine war, and its genocide case against Israel, all of which have fueled a growing diplomatic rift. If the bill makes it all the way into law, the consequences could be seismic. South Africa could face targeted sanctions, a freeze in trade relations, and potentially even a suspension from African Growth and Opportunity Act benefits. Could we see ambassadors recalled? Could military and intelligence cooperation grind to a halt? And more broadly, could this bill usher in a new era of U.S.-Africa tensions, where countries are punished for exercising foreign policy independence? One thing is clear, if this bill becomes law, the dominoes won't stop with Pretoria. And how might South Africa respond?
Well, South Africa needs to respond by doing what the heck they're told to do when they take billions of dollars of American money and not take that money and then say, oh, by the way, screw you, we're going to take this money and use it against your good. See, Africa, these people here, they're selling you a bill of goods and you're believing it like America's the bad guy. They're leaving out everything about their corrupt politicians, their open calls to kill the white farmer. Okay, but that's allowed because it's not racist. But say kill the black man down there in South Africa and you go to jail. See, it's their whole system of governing and thinking that's screwed up. And they're trying to deal with us as a country. We've got our own race issues that the imperialist elites have been pushing on us to cause division in our own land. We don't need South Africa telling us, oh no, let us kill all the white people and let us take your money and do what we want and just keep giving us your money. That's not how it works. It's never worked like that. No country works like that. They're ignorant for thinking it is. And this channel, New African Channel, is ignorant for thinking that's the way it works. Anyhow, the way it works is you take American money for help, you better stay on the side of American policy and not go to a dictatorship that terrorizes your nation as you take our money. That's not how it works. Having said that, have a good day.